Oh, not that one. Oh, Jesus.
I feel like I want to get a poster of what Tom just put in the chat.
Agreed.
You know, that might be the first time anyone's ever said they want a poster of anything I've ever done.
That is not true, because we've told you that we were going to get a shirt with your face on it that says Tom Hickman is our homeboy.
There's already a swimsuit of that somewhere.
There is a swimsuit of that.
Yes. Well, I want a shirt though. Okay. So I've got here just a couple little points on creating and selling the story of you. So I stole a few of these from the links below. I just kind of looked through and I was like, yeah, I like these ones. So I myself have kind of come from a non-traditional way of getting into engineering. I spent my high school years working as a lifeguard and a swim instructor. I was terrified of children, and I don't know why I decided to teach children. But I was like, yeah, it was part of the job. I loved swimming, and you had to be a swim instructor if you wanted a lifeguard. So I was like, all right, I'm doing this. Soon after, I had a nephew, and I learned to work with children a lot better. So about 2-3 years into being a lifeguard, I started to be an assistant manager. So I got to get off stand, which was nice, but I got to handle a lot more paperwork and kind of be the go-to whenever something happened, whether that be a bee sting, an active drowning, or someone threw up in the pool. So when I went off to college, I knew the whole time I really enjoyed math. And so my dad, I talked with him and he kind of pointed me in the direction of engineering. So I went into mechanical engineering, and while I was in school, I looked for some internships and I applied, did some interviews, but I was never fortunate enough to actually land an internship. And instead, I started working at the pool that was there in Corvallis. I went to Oregon State. So I went there and I was like, hey, I've done lifeguarding. So I started doing lifeguarding there, continued to do swim lessons, and eventually went into a supervising position as for the swim lesson program. So I kind of got to help develop the swim lesson program a little bit more. And while I was there, I got to do also some cashiering and more just kind of office work. So that's kind of what I did. And then I graduated college and I had no internship. And I was like, oh God, how do I get a job in engineering? I've only worked at a pool and I didn't know how I could make that work. So kind of this second point, and I guess I can kind of show you for the first one, be a storyteller. So as I'm kind of going through, this is my story. And I always like to start mine from kind of chronologically, start from the beginning, kind of go to the end and bring it to where I am today. And along the way, I'll kind of, talk about my accomplishments as they come up. And that also helps me kind of not lose track when I'm, trying to give my pitch or something. And I can just kind of bring it back to, the story of my life as, I think of it as like a book or a timeline, and that's why I get back to there. But yeah, so I was trying to explain or trying to, get a job as an engineer with, really limited engineering experience. So what you want to do is, kind of tailor the story to the company's needs. So the company I was applying for, I let them know that I tried to develop a new program to kind of track our swim lessons and using an Excel spreadsheet, and that can kind of translate to our project management and program development and kind of managing that, and also working with people. So I did a lot of customer service, face to face with different customers and our swim lesson instructors and the parents and the kids. So there was a lot of different people we had to talk to. So I kind of had to learn how to explain a concept in different ways. So I tried to use that as a way to, also explain that, as my communication skills. In the engineering world, I can explain a really complex engineering topic, and I'll try to, be able to explain that to the community so that way they can understand it. But in the same time, I can sit in a room with the engineers and we can talk about it in a more technical level. So I think working, with kids, and I would teach swim lessons to a 2-year-old and teach swim lessons to, a 50-year-old, and you don't talk to them the same way, obviously. So that was kind of a way I was able to tailor that skill into the engineering world. So kind of going along with kind of telling the story of you, watch your tone. I like to kind of keep it light and excited, kind of read your audience, make sure you're not staying as monotonous. And I then graduated from college and then got a job. So, but be yourself, try not to, again, be honest, try not to be someone you're not. Kind of going back to Stephanie and Ariane's point, you don't want to oversell yourself to, this is who I am, but in reality, that's not who you are. Yeah, be honest about yourself, and that way you'll really know if you're a good fit with their culture and that work group, and if that work group kind of fits with you. And then give others credit. So while you're going through and talking about your journey, sometimes it can be a turnoff if you try to, claim all of the credit and I did all of this great work, especially if it's a large project. And if you try to claim all of the credit for a large project, and later if they find out, it's a bigger project team and you didn't really do all of that, make sure you give credit to those that helped you out and really kind of got you to where you are. Because really, it's a team effort, and that kind of shows that you're a team player, and open and willing to work with others. And then distinguish yourself from the competition. So kind of how do you make yourself different from the other candidates? And I remember from my interview, it was kind of a weird question, but my boss asked, what was the last thing you geeked out on? And I told her that I got a bookshelf, and I recently moved in and I organized all my books and, put them in alphabetical order and put this there and put that there. And so I kind of showed that little piece of myself, but also showed that organization side. And I think that piece kind of helped me stand out, because even now she'll kind of bring that up. And yeah, just kind of finding those small anecdotal stories that makes you different from the crowd. And then last but not least, keep it short. I know for me, I will ramble on and keep going and talking because there's a lot I want to say, and but I'm learning to reel it in, bring it back, and especially read the audience. You don't want to keep rambling and then lose interest. So if you can kind of keep it to the point, say your piece, and then if they have questions, they'll continue to ask questions, and then you can continue on that dialogue. So yeah. And with that, I'm going to try to keep it short, at least with this part, and kind of open up to questions and conversation. And I think after this part, we had planned for a quick 5-minute break, so we can talk it out and then have our break. And when we come back from the break, we'll do our elevator pitches.
So I'd like to jump in with a question right off the bat, Brittany. You were
Yes.
talking about, your time working in what sounded like 2 different pools. So you had multiple experiences, but in a way that didn't readily kind of work for engineering experience. How did you sell that? I'm guessing to the city of Portland. Was that the first job in engineering that you got, and how did you kind of sell this?
Yeah, so my first job was actually with a contracting agency called DRW. And luckily with that, I had 2 sorority sisters that already worked with the company. And so one of my sisters told me, hey, I just got this job. You should apply. And so I did. And I think that connection really also helped with landing that job. But I did also use the kind of what I mentioned with, communication styles. And I also tried to sell, I'm new to this, but I'm ready and open to learn. And, you can do with me what you will, because I'm ready to go. Yeah, so that's kind of how I sold that. And then also I used my projects from school when I was my engineering projects. I definitely used those as highlights to showcase, why I do have engineering background. So one of them was we built a paper launcher as part of like a competition, and the machine had to take a piece of paper, fold it, and launch it all by itself automatically, and whoever could launch it the furthest would win. And we were like one of 3 teams to actually shoot a piece of paper. Other people, they just couldn't get it to work. So I used that project too while getting the job.
I have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
So in terms of giving others credit, how would that maybe sort of play out when you're telling a story of just like, I worked with these people and together we did this? Because I know sometimes I've heard like on a resume that you want to have like those action items of like what you did specifically, but how do you also give credit to others?
Yeah. Yeah, and definitely on a resume that might be a little different. But one thing I've also learned is kind of, like you mentioned with action items, is kind of quantifying your accomplishments. So you could say, I worked with this team and we, for example, I worked with Leeway Engineering and we accomplished 3 pipe inspections within this many months, and that could kind of showcase how you accomplish something, and puts a number to it. And you can kind of, show your role on that project. I worked on this specifically, and this person, I gave them this, and then they did this part with it. But kind of how you're, interacting with the different team members.
Okay, yeah, I think that's something I sort of struggle with is the flip side of like, I always think of what did we do? And then sometimes I struggle focusing on, okay, what exactly did I do though?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and one thing is, so in like one of my senior projects, I had the project management role. So in that project, you know, we all worked on it together, but I kind of had specific responsibilities, and that's what I would showcase. But in the end, this project, you know, was the end result. But here's how I contributed to get to that end result.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else? All right. Cool. Well, I'll go ahead and give us about a 5, maybe, yeah, about 5 minutes. Does that sound good? And then we can come back at 3:15. And then I was hoping that Mary would be able to join us. Maybe she will. But if not, then we can have, we'll have Erin start us off with her elevator pitch. Cool.
When y'all come back from the break, unfortunately, we have to go. It's a little after 5 here in Texas, and I have to go to my daughter's dance recital. So, and she has to drive 2 hours home. So, but I just wanted to say that we were so excited to get to have this conversation with y'all. I'm bummed that we'll miss the rest of it, but Leslie, it was so nice to meet you. Erin, it was nice to meet you face to face. I know we've been emailing, but again, thanks for thinking of us and letting us be a part of the conversation for sure.